Hey everybody. All right, it's been a long time since I've had an opportunity to give you all an update on what's been happening. So, life is great. It just keeps getting better and better. So, I'm enjoying it. God has been real good to me, of course. I just recognize it now, I mean, I always knew, but, sometimes we just don't uh, give the proper acknowledgement for what he actually has done for us and what he continues to do. So, my health is intact. I feel good. My mind is still getting better. I feel nice and refreshed. So I just made my 91st day at work today. So my probation was officially over yesterday. So, woo, I made it. Um, thank you, Lord. So, still enjoying my work. Um, still showing up enthusiastically, uh, eager to try to help the agencies to be even more financially astute and stronger. So, everything is looking good on that front. Um, it's funny. I got a raise. I got a cost of living adjustment last week. So God is great all the time, and all the time. God is great. So, I have a new church home. I am at Divine Word Ministries out in Country Club Hills under the leadership of Pastor C.E. Watkins, um, a very wise man. I enjoy listening and getting um, the spiritual food that I've been needing for such a long time, and it's very refreshing to um, hear him speak. He reminds me a lot of my grandfather. Um, so I have no reason to not continue to go there. I'll be an old man. They're gonna have to kick me out the door. So um, you know, I have to work on my praise and worship. Of course, I'm a little reserved when it comes to that. But as good as God has been to me, um, I should be eager to jump up. The same way I used to feel when I heard Mark Morrison Return of the Mac. So, I have to tap my feet for the Lord too. So, um, but yeah, everything is good. And I go to church every Sunday. I need to get around there more often. See what other activities they have going on, see what I can do to be useful, um, you know, to the church, to the congregation. Um, so I'm enjoying that part of life. I'm enjoying all of the blessings that God has given me. Um, I knew He was going to do it, but I mean, just the evidence is just so overwhelming that it was certainly worth the wait. It was worth all of the rejections and everything. I've been able to let go of my lack of a relationship with my father. Still working on it, of course. It'll probably to a certain extent I'll always kind of be there, but it's okay. He did. I'm sure it had to be the best he could do. I mean, I can't judge. I don't have any kids, but I guess I have to be grateful that I'm here. So I am grateful that he met my mom. I'm grateful for everything that happened to get me here because I am finally enjoying life. It's been a long time. And I'm not sure that I ever have, really had the pleasure of enjoying life. So, you know, every day is a new a new adventure. So far so good. Yeah. I wind up posting a lot of the pictures from the church and stuff. Me and my friend Wade, we usually wind up taking a picture every Sunday. He wasn't there last Sunday. I hope everything's okay. Wade, hope your mom is okay. I didn't get to see either one of you all. Um, but life is very, very good. Life is great. Um, I did have the opportunity to go by Pastor Annie Frazier's funeral. May she rest in peace. And I had a chance to speak to her son. I hadn't seen her son, Lionel. They call him Chip. I always called him Chip, and I guess he doesn't mind people calling him Chip. So I had a chance to see Chip, and I don't think I had seen him probably for the better part. I haven't. I don't think I've seen him in 20 years. So it was good to see him. I had a chance to tell him um, that I had a chance to thank his mother for coming by to see my mother 3 days before she passed away. And I told him how much it meant to me. Um, and, even though I'm sure that my mother wasn't aware, but still, spirits connect and stuff. So I trust that um, just the presence of some of her church friends was satisfying to her soul and spirit. So I did get a chance to tell him that I had a chance to thank his mother, and I really appreciated her coming by around that time. So we got a chance to connect. And so I was at Starbucks on Sunday. After I go to church, I go to the Starbucks out in Matson. And I was sitting there, I was working on a PowerPoint presentation, um, trying to develop a presentation where I can um, put some informative information down so that I can talk to people and have some visual effects to kind of help me through it. So I was sitting there and I'm typing on my computer, and somebody says, George? And I look up and it's Chip. And we happen to start talking to stuff. And of course, the conversation is a whole lot different with someone when you compare it to seeing somebody at a funeral and you hadn't seen them for 20 years or whatever. So, I asked him to sit down and he sat down and we talked for at least a good 10 minutes or whatever. And, he was interested to know what I was doing um, with the insurance side of everything. I told him I'm still an accountant, working as an auditor or a federal um, monitor, but that I did decide to uh, pick up insurance sales on the side. So I told him I passed my test, and he was interested to know, about taking the test here in Illinois, or would um, any certifications that he has received down in the Virgin Islands, are they reciprocal here in Illinois? I told him I wasn't sure, but it wasn't, the test wasn't really hard or whatever. So we were talking, and we were talking about us taking care of our moms during, the particular times when they had gotten sick, and he was saying how he had come back up to Illinois to help to stay with his mom for a while, and still trying to handle his regular day-to-day business, to maintain the financial position that he needed to maintain as a grown man. So, and we were talking, and our conversation, um, we finished up, and a lady was sitting right next to me. And I had noticed her when I was outside. I was talking to another guy before I came in. He wanted to know about trusts and everything, and he wanted to find out what do I know about trust, and how could his grandmother have established a trust, and then the kids are fighting over the house and stuff, and then they wind up having to sell the house at a steep discount, and the taxes went up and everything, and water bills came due. So I was talking to him for at least 10 minutes about that. So after Chip and I finished our conversation, the lady, um, she said she was cold. And I just happened to have my jacket. So I asked if, if you'd like to put my jacket on, while you're waiting or whatever. And she said, no, I have one out in the car, but, but it's, very nice of you to offer. So I was like, well, I was raised in Mississippi. That's how we do. So we got to talking and she said, well, I couldn't help but overhear you all's conversation. And I actually just lost my mom too. And so she started explaining how her brother wants to try to take control by getting a copy of the tax bill, and he thinks if he goes down and pays the taxes that that's gonna put him in charge of the house or whatever. So I tried my best to explain to her that no, that's not gonna do it. The main concern is the fact that whose name is on the deed, and she was something in me that she trusted, and we just kept talking, and she said that no, the deed is still in her deceased mom's name. I said, well, you need to um, go through the process of trying to get the deed put in your name so that you can, affect the wishes that your mom wanted. The mom wanted the siblings to sell it and split everything equally 4 ways or whatever. The brother doesn't want no part of that. He wants to do what he wants to do outside of them and everything. So I said, well, yeah, you definitely should want to be the first one to go and pay the bill. So that takes his opportunity to pay the bill. It takes his opportunity away. So she said, "Yeah, you know what? Matter of fact, I'll go down to the assessor's office." I said, "Yeah, you should go to the Cook County assessors." And we looked on the phone and found out she could go to Markham. So she said she was going to go down there. And I said, while you're down there, you should ask them, what do you need to do to get your mom's name off of the deed and to either get it into your name or, whose ever name it's going to go into. So she said, yeah, well, I'll definitely see about putting it in my name or whatever. Because my mom knew that, that she said her mom knew that she would do exactly what she wanted her to do. She wouldn't try to cut anybody else out. So we talked for a long time. And she asked me, what do I do for a living? I told her, well, technically I'm an accountant. I have an accounting degree. I've been working as an auditor for the better part of 27 years or so. But I did just recently um, receive my license to sell life insurance. I told her I'd probably be going to take my test for the health portion as well, and maybe in the future, property and casualty. So she's like, wow, I'm actually semi-retired and I was looking for something to do. I said, well, I mean, it's actually a good place to be where you can sincerely help people who do need your help. And I'm sure you have a network of people who, have different situations or whatever. And, you seem to be a nice person. And, so that might be something for you to consider. And I kind of briefly talked with her about insurances and stuff like that, and how she could roll money out of a traditional deferred compensation plan, 403b, 401k, or a pension. You just kind of have to bite the bullet and pay taxes to get it out. But then once you get it into another pot, it can grow tax free, and you can also take your distributions tax free. So she was interested to hear more about that. So she did say that she was going to come out to our live event that we're having in August, and she was going to bring her sister and sister-in-law. So I was like, cool, that's absolutely beautiful. So we exchanged numbers and email addresses and everything, and she told me she was going to call me the next day. And true to her word, she called me at about 7:15 to explain to me that she did go down to the assessor's office, and when she went to pay the taxes, they were able to give her a discount because of her mother's senior status. So she didn't have to pay the amount that she thought that she was going to have to pay. And then she said, "Well, I'm also gonna." The line was too long, so she was going to take care of her tax situation the next day, which would have been today. So, and she should be entitled to the senior discount as well. So sometimes, you're in the right place at the right time, and you happen to be talking to somebody, and it doesn't. Oftentimes, it doesn't. It winds up not being a friend or a family member or somebody who you've known for a long time. It can be a stranger at Starbucks who trusts you enough to open up. And I guess she had to discern for herself whether or not I have a trustworthy demeanor, characteristics, and spirit or whatever. So, she did open up, and just as a result of our conversation, she was able to save some money on her property taxes that were due for her mom and some taxes that are going to be due for her property. Um, and she may be interested in trying to get some insurance coverage too. Um, so God is good. God is good, and like I've been telling people, um, my job pays me well. So um, I'm not in it to sell people overpriced policies that you don't need so I can rake in commissions and everything. I'm sincerely interested in trying to help people. I don't want people to have to uh, worry about when somebody in your family dies and you all can't afford to readily pay for the expenses, or everything just falls out of the normal functioning because that breadwinner is gone, or it's already bad enough that people have to grieve and get through these situations and stuff, but you certainly shouldn't have to worry about where that mortgage payment is going to come from. Are you going to be able to afford the taxes? Can you even bury somebody? Will you have to do a GoFundMe? And even like when when my mom died, um, she had dementia in the end. She had Alzheimer's. And she couldn't talk to my brother and I about, okay, well, I've got this insurance policy over here, this one over here, this one over here, and then this is the policy number, this is the amount you should contact this person or this company. She didn't have the wherewithal and the mental functioning to be able to take care of that. And we wouldn't have known where to look or nothing like that. And all of a sudden, letters just started coming in out of the blue. Hello, Mr. Fielder. Sorry for your loss of Ms. Rita Fannings or whatever. Please sign this form or whatever, and a check would come, and then another check, and so I saw what that can be like. Um, she obviously had a plan that was written in such a way that maybe there was a cash value sitting there, and when she lost the ability to remember what bills were due or how to transfer funds or write a check or something, or maybe she even had it auto deducted, but we didn't see that coming through. So obviously, at some point when she lost her mental faculties, she didn't have the ability to write a check for the premium or whatever. But that insurance policy was written in such a way that the amount of money that she had in the policy was able to pay for the premiums so that the policy wouldn't lapse. That doesn't happen to everybody. I've talked to people whose parents may have had insurance policies, and because they stopped paying the premium and the cash value ran out, then the policies just lapsed. My grandmother lived to be 97 years old. If I'm not mistaken, I think she outlived at least two or three term policies. So she had a mind to want to try to have forethought about her situation, like we're all gonna pass away. So she tried to get policies, but nobody ever told her to go get a whole life policy or to go get a universal policy or an index universal life policy. So the lady was happy to know that somebody out of the blue would just happen to be at the place she happens to be at and can help walk her through her situation. So, like I said, I'm just glad I was in the right place at the right time. And I'm certainly running across a lot of people just out of the blue. I met a lady on the train about a month ago, and she gave me the name of a person who does construction work and everything, and she was saying how good he was. So at least three of her friends on the train, they said, "Well, hey, give me his number." So I wasn't in that conversation, so I was trying not to hear, but you can't help but hear. So after we got off at the same stop, I went and introduced myself and said, "Hey, I couldn't help but overhear how much you like this person who does the construction work around your house. Can I please have his number?" So we exchanged numbers and she texted me the guy's name and number and everything. And I spoke with her again. And, I asked her, has she, you know, made arrangements for her retirement? Because she looks a little older than me and she's still getting up every day, getting on the train, going to work at an age where we would think that it's past time for somebody to retire. I don't know what her circumstances are or whatever, but whatever they are, they um, lead her to have to go to work every day. So I gave her a card one day, and she looked at the card and it said, George Fielder, insurance analyst. She said, "I really need to talk to you. I probably needed to talk to you several years ago." So I invited her to our monthly webinar that we have. She wasn't able to make it. I didn't ask why, no problem. We have them every month. So when she saw me today, she was very apologetic and stuff. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I was going to be able to make it." And I just cut her off. I was like, "You have nothing to apologize for. I understand, things happen. It's not a problem. Will have another one coming up." And she said, as a matter of fact, I have a class reunion coming up this Saturday out at the Forest Preserve out in Calumet City or somewhere. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, since you're asking, well, now I'm doing your class reunion. You just let me know the time and the place." She said, "Yeah, I would really love for you to come out there and I'll introduce you to all of my friends from school. We still keep in touch and everything." So that's nothing but a blessing. That's nothing but a blessing to be able to meet a stranger on the train who has something, a gap somewhere, you know, and we haven't even started discussing what that gap may be. But a lot of us are like, well, we've got all of this money sitting over in a 403B from a job that we had, and then now we're looking at this amount of money, and some of us know that when we start drawing it down, we're going to pay tax on that. Some of us don't realize that. Some people still think a pension is not taxable. They think, okay, well, I got my pension coming in, I'll be fine. So that $5,000 in a pension that you have, $5,000 10 years down the road is not going to buy you what $5,000 does now. So she has friends who are going to have a variety of situations. Got sometimes older people are taking care of grandkids. Sometimes it winds up that the grandparent is having to take care of their sick child who's in their 50s or whatever, who can't work anymore. So I don't know what her situation is, don't know what her friend's situation is, but I would imagine probably a lot of people have retired, other people want to retire but realize they can't retire. So I'm gonna go without any preconceived notions or whatever. And I'm going to just try to understand where people are and not necessarily have all of the answers that day or whatever, but establish some good relationships and stuff. So um, I'm happy. I'm really happy. I feel like I can help people out of situations that they don't need to continue to be in. And like I said, my job pays me great, so I'm not desperate for commissions and everything. And I think I can kind of look past having to feel like I need to talk to everybody and talk to uh, 400 people so I can whittle away the 350 who don't want to hear anything about it so I can go get to that 50 or whatever. No, I think that God is going to present me with people who have situations. Some people who know me know that I've tried to keep myself abreast of uh, financial pitfalls, and to stay aware of how money interacts, how to save money here, how to make money move from this place to that place to help save you and save you some taxes and everything. So I think all of that stuff is just going to come together, and I'm going to be just fine. And if my future is any indication, or if my present right now is any indication of what the future is going to be, then I'll continue to meet people at Starbucks and you know help where I can. So everything is absolutely fantabulously marvelous. Church is great. My spirit is great. The job is doing what it's supposed to do. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing for it. I look at my job as a help to the kingdom. You know, I go out to organizations who have our dollars to provide job training and workforce development activities and everything to help people to get jobs so they can take care of themselves and take care of their families or whatever. So I'm going to approach it like that. This is not just 9 to 5 and the first and the 15th, the 15th and the last day of the month. I'm gonna get my check and I don't care. It's not that. So I think that God is going to continue to reward me because I want to do um, the good thing for people. So that's enough of an update right now. I can't even tell you, the rest of the stories that's been happening or whatever because I've already taken too much time anyway. So you all take real good care of yourselves, take real good care of each other, and I shall talk to you soon. Bye bye.